Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, She's French, and if you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please consider subscribing. So today's video is going to be part 2 of me answering your minimalism questions. I got so many good questions and I really wanted to answer them all, which is why I split it into 2 videos. If you haven't seen part 1, definitely check it out. I'm gonna link it right up here. The questions were really good. So let's get started with part 2. So the first question was from Mitch. What keeps you motivated in maintaining this lifestyle? So honestly, this lifestyle is very hard to let go of. I can't imagine my life not being a minimalist. I love how things look. I love the maintenance of my lifestyle. It's very easy to maintain. I love my closet. Like I said, I never have to think about getting dressed. It's so easy. So it would be really hard for me to do something different, and I'm pretty like clutter adverse, I would say. So I like this, like that really pleases me. It would be hard for me to suddenly just put a bunch of stuff on there. I'm really used to it, and it's kind of what I mentioned in the last video, that I started to kind of do it and then really it made sense for me, and then it was really easy for me to just take this approach to everything. I feel like this is me, right? So it would be hard to change out of it. There's so many benefits to minimalism, and it's also what I mentioned in the last video was that I didn't realize I was becoming a minimalist. It wasn't trendy yet. I found out after, when it started to be a little bit of a movement and books and documentaries were coming out about it, and I was like, oh, I think I'm one of those people. But it just always made sense to me and like really resonated with me. And I'm sorry if that's an annoying answer and you were wanting like, these are why I do it and it's really like an effort for me to do, but really like I've been doing this for years, so I'm really used to it, and it just makes sense, like things click into place and it's almost natural. So hopefully that wasn't a horrible answer, and if anything, it like made you feel good. I don't know. And then the next question is also from Mitch. Mitch asked, do you recommend any podcasts or books about minimalism? This might not be the answer that you're expecting, but no. I don't really consume a lot of minimalism content. I think that there's a narrative to minimalism that's quite toxic and unhealthy. My minimalism, I'm like in my own little bubble. I feel good. I love it. It's easy to maintain. I don't overthink it. Like it just happens. I don't want to be influenced in a way that I would start to count my stuff, or like I have to like follow certain rules. I feel like I'm already there and I'm very happy, so I don't want to be influenced in that way. I watch a ton of YouTube, and I watch like regular fashion, beauty, people doing crafts. I watch such a range of YouTube, and actually pretty much none of it is minimalism. And I think that's okay. If you're looking for inspiration on minimalism, then Marie Kondo is really cool. I liked her show on Netflix. I like the message of things sparking joy and making you feel good. I think it makes sense. You're spending your own money on things and you're surrounding yourself with things, so you should feel good about what you're investing in, but also what you're surrounding yourself with. But what I want to, I guess, say from this is don't be too hard on yourself. And I don't think minimalism is like a personality trait. I think you can be just like a regular person but also happen to be a minimalist. Like I love fashion and I'm still a minimalist. I'm a mom, I'm still a minimalist. It's just like a part of me, but it's not what makes me and defines me, I want to say. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, just be gentle with yourself. I think it can be like a little bit scary out there sometimes, but essentially I do minimalism so that I feel good. My house is simple, things are clean, easy to maintain. That's really all that matters to me. And the next question is actually from my husband, Ryan. This is a really good question. He asked, super random, but I feel like phones are a reflection of oneself. I know my phone is constantly filled and it seems like it's impossible to clean up. So my question is your phone minimal? This is such a good question because with minimalism, it's very common to be like paperless and things like that. So next thing you know, all of these papers that you would be accumulating are now in your phone. Our phones can store so much data and they can do so many things now that I can definitely imagine phones filling up really fast. Mine used to be like that, and it still gets like that with photos, especially now that I have my son. But I do take the time to clean up my phone. I feel like our phones are kind of like an extension of us now, which sounds so futuristic and crazy, but if you really think about it, you will go everywhere with your phone, and you will use your phone for a lot of different things now. It's not just like a communication device. You will have a lot of your life in your phone. So I try to keep all my apps to fit on the one homepage. I definitely utilize folders, and something that I like to do with my folders is I like to put them as like affirmations. So like all my like health apps and like insurance, my doctor, I put them under like I am healthy, and that's my little folder. And then like my like little photo taking, filming, I am creative, things like that. So it rounds up everything on my one page. The folders are nice, it's pleasant to click on because you do click on these things all day. So why not make them very positive and make you feel good? And yeah, I don't want to be scrolling, searching through my phone. Like I say, I always want to prioritize my time with my minimalism. So of course I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to get lost and sucked into phone world. Something that I'm also really good at is clearing my emails. Oh my gosh, this was hard. I went through a period where I would just unsubscribe from everything that was spam. Like I was really good about it. So now I pretty much decluttered all of the spam emails that I get. My inbox is only the important emails, and then I star anything that's extra important that I'm keeping in my email. Anything that I'm done with, I clear out. So in my email at any moment in time, I pretty much have about 20 emails. Some are maybe information I'm keeping, but I definitely clear as I go, and I apply that to everything. I'm trying to be better about clearing out my pictures, uploading the ones I really care about. I think we all take like a bunch of duplicate photos. Maybe you moved your head like just like that or something, or like I have a million of my son. I'm trying to keep them thinking like, would he look back on this? He probably doesn't care about having like 12 of him in like a little variation of movements, even though I want to keep them all. So I try to go through those and like pick out the best ones, things like that. So hopefully that is helpful and inspiring. I don't know, not that I'm like such like a role model, but I'm very proud that my phone is neat because it's hard. The next question is from Kale Chips. Sorry, this is your username. I don't know what your real name is, maybe Kayla. You asked, how do you keep yourself from getting tempted to buy unnecessary extra items? How do you decide when you need a new item? Do you have a lot of different activities in your life? For example, I go to church, work out, coach. I also want to have a going out outfit. So I just need a bunch of outfits for different situations. So I think I dress maybe a little bit different, but I feel like everything in my closet can work for any situation. I also don't go to like a religious place, so obviously I don't think you would wear this to church, so keep that in mind. But for the most part, I feel like my clothes are like modest enough, or can be made modest enough, that I can wear them in any setting. And then they're also very easy to dress up or dress down. Like I said, my closet, I try to make sure I have variety and that things go together and I can switch them for different things. So I feel like I achieved that pretty well. I think it's just finding the right balance of like what you need and the ability to dress it up or down. I think that's really important, being able to transform your pieces rather than needing a bunch of different pieces for different outfits, if that makes sense. In terms of fighting temptation, I'm pretty good about that. I've really taught myself to be pretty disciplined about shopping. I'll kind of assess things for a long time, and I'm not really a person that feels like I need so much. So as long as I can get dressed and like I feel like I have the right things, I'll be fine. Sometimes my closet does kind of like scream at me like, hey, you could do with this piece. So then I'll really look for like the perfect piece, and I'll be really picky. I won't so much feel like I like want everything that's like coming out from different like trends, designers, whatever. I feel like I dress decently timeless to where I'm not super like trendy fad like. I feel like my pieces can last through the different things, and if anything, be accessorized differently, like the whole idea of dressing up or down. So I think I do okay with that, but that's just like, it's taken me a long time to get to that. I know how my closet, how I like to keep it, so it's very easy for me to find a piece that matches it well and goes with what I have. I think the main thing is just simplifying down. And then in terms of the activities that I do, I mentioned in the last video, I just got this. This is for working out. I now have a piece of equipment in my room, so working out something I do. I love to go for walks, definitely at the beach a lot, so pretty active. I also like to game, so most of these activities don't require like a full-on like set of new clothing. I used to go out more, but even with that, I could wear a black dress and dress it up in different ways, and honestly I didn't mind re-wearing that dress. So that's just me. I didn't ever really feel like I had to like have a different outfit for every time I was seen out. I don't mind it. Black is timeless. Can people really tell that this black dress is different from the last? I don't think so. The next question is from Amy. Amy asks, what made you decide to become a minimalist with a makeup collection, and how do you resist the temptation of buying new releases? A little bit similar to the last question. So with makeup, I definitely wanted to answer this one separately. Makeup, I don't go through that fast. You guys will have seen in my makeup declutter, like a lot of my makeup was still brand new. The main reason that I would declutter is if I like really truly don't plan on using it, or if it went bad, because makeup does have an expiry date. But it's kind of hard for me to declutter makeup that's still good, that I can see myself using. Honestly, it takes me forever to go through my makeup. Like my highlighter, I use a decent amount as eyeshadow. I haven't hit pan and I really don't know when I would, so I'm just gonna keep it until it's bad because I do use it. So I think because makeup has a purpose and you can like create different looks with it, there's no real reason to like not have it if it's still good and you plan to use it. I don't like to limit my minimalism to where I'm like, you can only have these 2 pieces and that's it. Like, why? It's still like a small amount, it's manageable for me. Why do I need to only have 2? That doesn't make sense to me. So I don't, like I said, I don't do the counting thing. I kind of do have like a mental threshold of like how much I like to have and I would rather not have. But I've never really exceeded that, so it's easy for me to kind of maintain like a small amount of things. But I would say that for the most part, the makeup that I do have is makeup that I use every day, and then I have a couple backups. I don't know, sometimes I bought 2 of something, so no reason to get rid of it because I'll eventually finish the first and then move on to the next. So yeah, it's pretty much like my full everyday face of makeup, and I use everything. And in terms of not buying new releases, the only releases that really tempted me were the Animal Crossing and Sailor Moon ColourPop releases. And for the Sailor Moon, I kind of wanted a pink blusher. Everything was so cute. Of course, I would love it all, but realistically, I wouldn't use it all, but I would use that pink blusher, so that I did get, and I think it'll be so cute in the summer when I'm more tan, so I'm excited about that. And then for the Animal Crossing one, I got 2 of the eye palettes because I wanted to kind of play around with eyeshadow. I only actually ended up using the pink one, and that's the one I kept, but that's kind of trial and error for me. I'm less confident in makeup than I am with clothes. I really enjoy makeup too, but sometimes I purchase something and it doesn't work out. I'm only human, so that's also why sometimes I have little extras, just because I'm like still try to figure out my makeup as well. The last question is from Jessica. She asked, how do you avoid the temptation from shopping and accumulation of stuff, like out of boredom, or use it as retail therapy? Been struggling with shopping. On the other hand, decluttering has become easier. Hey Jessica, congrats on getting better at decluttering. That's really good. Sometimes decluttering is really hard, and you have to put a lot of thought into like what you're letting go of, what you're keeping, and at some point you spent some money and some time on those things, so it can definitely be really hard. So that's awesome that you're doing good. And then quick disclaimer, I don't think minimalism is all about decluttering, but sometimes it's good to kind of freshen up and go through your stuff. But declutter because it makes you feel good and like you're shedding weight off your shoulders. Don't declutter because you're trying to meet a standard or a rule. You should feel okay after decluttering. Don't give yourself a hard time. But anyway, to avoid temptation from shopping, it's really easy to see everything online, but I try to remember like, hey, does this make sense with my closet? Would that actually suit me? Yes or no? And then is it actually wearable, or is it more of like a photo piece? I don't really like things that you would wear one time. When I add something to my closet, it's pretty well curated, so I want to make sure that it works with what I already own and that I can actually see myself really getting use out of it. The accumulation of stuff, I kind of had a little bit of an accumulation while I was pregnant because my body changed so much. It was hard for me to figure out what to wear and like what I was into because it was just such a transformation. Now that I'm back to like the body that I know more, it's not quite there yet, but almost. It's easier for me to kind of go back into my routine of like, this works and this doesn't. Pretty ruthless about it. But the main thing is just to feel good in it. So I can tell really fast if something doesn't make me feel good. I just won't keep it. And because I'm like, my closet is so small, if there's a piece that like really sticks out and like is not working, it's really easy for me to pull that out and like list it online or do with it as I need to. It's not like I'm like digging through stuff anymore. Like it's right there. Like I'll just boop. What I would suggest if you're struggling with shopping, maybe try Pinterest. I really like Pinterest. I like saving things that I think are pretty and like our inspo and stuff, but then I think it also helps me to see what the vibe is and try to recreate it with things that I have, rather than suddenly I see it, I want it. Maybe it's I take like the essence from it and I can kind of recreate what it's about, if that makes sense. But don't beat yourself up about it. We live in a world right now where everything is marketed, everything's shoppable. So I think you're kind of just feeling what you're supposed to as someone who's living in this time and place right now. So I think it's just kind of teaching yourself a little bit more discipline, I guess, but don't beat yourself up about it. It'll be okay. We're literally getting marketed at nonstop. And that was the last question. That was 6 questions. Hopefully that was enjoyable for you guys. Hopefully I didn't ramble on for too long, and it was fun and insightful, and you got to know me a little bit better through it. So yeah, thank you so much for asking these questions. This was super fun to answer. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.